Hey guys, this is Wes, the Portrait Dude, coming at you today with a quick tutorial on how to get a nice lightsaber effect in Lightroom without the use of Photoshop. This is kind of a lot of things that a lot of people struggle with at conventions or just basically on any shoots or anything. If a costume has LEDs that light up or specifically lightsabers or something like that, normally if you're in either automatic mode or shooting where you quote-unquote normally would be shooting in those situations, we can't figure out why is the light's not showing up. Oh, it doesn't work with the flash. It works with the flash. You just got to kind of tweak your settings a little bit. So, alright, step one, whenever you're shooting something with light, especially we're going to use lightsabers in this particular example. I'm going to go over LEDs and other types of light later on in future tutorials. But for this one, go ahead and take a look over here on the right. You can see I shot it at 1/20th of a second at f9.5. The f9.5 is how I normally shoot in the hallways to get this dark stopped down background, which is really what I wanted to, because as you can see, if we go over here and crank up the exposure, and we're just doing this now to show what's in the background. This was just shot in a hallway. It was literally like a quick 2-minute shot that was on my way to shoot something else. I see people walking around in the background, but you'd never know because I stopped down the background, and that's why I shoot the way that I shoot. So anyway, over here on the left is the before with no editing, and you can see it's got a little bit of light on the lightsaber. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see the glow on her face. You can see the glow in her eyes. That's not really what I was going for, but it got a little bit for us to work with. Over here on the right is the finished product with just like probably less than 5 for me, since I'm used to it, probably like 2 minutes worth of editing. As you can see, it's got a nice glow around it, and it's not a really consistent glow like you can tell whenever you kind of fake it in Photoshop. It actually uses the light and the particles and stuff like that of light that are already there. And whenever you look, you can also augment, whenever you do this way, you can augment what's already on her face and what's already in her eye to make it realistic looking, because it's realistic. It's real. So, okay, first step, whenever you're doing something like this, we are going to reset this back to 0 so you guys see me editing this in real time. And then I'm going to go up here. I've got a couple custom settings I have made down here. TPD Intensify, that's the Portrait Dude. Intensify, it's my custom settings that I've made. I'm going to tweak them just a little bit for Lightsaber. I'll actually probably save these settings as Lightsaber settings since I use them all the time. But what we want to do is select this one. And we are going to go down here to Color under the Develop tab in Lightroom CC. Select this, and since this is a red saber, we're going to select red. And this is going to give anything that we choose a red overcast to it. So go up here and go to your Radial filter tool, or Shift M for Windows, and pick the middle of it, and this creates an oval that will apply the effect anywhere inside of here. And you want to make sure that invert mask is checked. That means it's only going to do inside of here, and have your feather about 50. It doesn't matter, 50-ish is what I use most of the time. And we're going to lay the base down, so we want it a little bit wider than the lightsaber, depending on how big of a glow. If you want a big glow, kind of move it out here. If you want kind of a narrower glow like I normally like on mine, move it out just like that. And since this is going to bump up our exposure 0.5, contrast 10, clarity 10, and to apply that nice red cast to each one that we do. And the trick here is you can stack radial filter tools. So as you do this, you see where my thing is over here. Make sure you're not on one of the nodes whenever you do this. Right click, duplicate, and you can already see it starting to glow. Duplicate, and okay, that'll give us a little bit of the glow on the outside. And let's go ahead and pull that into the saber here, because we don't want to just glow, 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 glow. And that'll give us the nice glow around the edge, and this way it will give us a really, really nice, because what it's doing basically is it's pumping up the light that's already there, and it is just kind of augmenting what's really there, So the thing you have to watch out about is if you have something like right here that's in the background, it will also light up whatever is in this cone, this oval here that you are editing. So to get rid of that, we'll do like spot removal tool, and make sure it's set on heal. And we are going to just go ahead and grab it and make sure it's along wherever it selects is along up here. There we go. That way it's taken out realistically, not a problem. So, you know, as you can see, that's just a really quick edit to get a nice look to this lightsaber. I don't like how this is kind of a pinky color up here, so I'm going to grab this and get a little bit more red up here. Make it look a little bit hotter. So, there we go. And you can do this with the brush tool as well. I don't like using the brush tool. If you guys have watched my videos, you know that. I just like the Radial filter tool personally for the way that I edit. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and add a little bit more glow to her face, because if this thing is glowing like this hot, it's gonna cast some light on her face. And as you can see, we've already got a lot of section here, so let's just go ahead and grab that, drag a section here, and that's a little bit bright. So we go over here and bump that up 0.25 instead of 0.5. And we also need a little bit on her clothing down here. So go do that. Grab another oval. And this is kind of where the strength of Radial filter tools and such like that really lies, because you can put the effect exactly where you want it. You can squash and stretch. Now if I want to copy these settings and paste it to another one, I can do that easily and it will carry those over. I just need to grab the nodes and move them around as necessary. So one last thing to do, if this is glowing this bright, it's got a little bit of a catch light in the eye, we're going to add just a little bit more. You really got to watch this though, because it's easy to overdo it. So I'll show you what overdoing it would be. We're using the exact same settings as before. Put it on there, right click duplicate, and that's probably overdoing it just a little bit. Yeah, you see how her eye like really stands out. Want something just a little bit more subtle. So yep, kind of like that. And this right here will be blocking the majority of this off of her face. So we've got that nice red cast over here to her face, and also the highlights in the eyes and our lightsaber. So I would say that's done, and in you know, with me yapping, under 5 minutes. So I'm going to show you one more example of how this can work, and we're going to go on this one. So this one is actually shot in less of my style. The one before, I'll show the lighting setup as I'm talking through it of how I had my lighting setup and stuff, but I was shooting my particular style in the hallways, which meant I had a flash, an off-camera flash, that was providing the majority of the light. This right here is my buddy Aaron, and he is as Sephiroth, and just kind of a, or Sitharoth, I think is what somebody called him. But this is shot more, okay, just walking around the con floors, you can see everything kind of this around here is properly exposed. So we're just going for the lightsaber today. We're not doing anything fancy around here, just the lightsaber. As you can see, the exposure is 1/45th of a second and at f4. So, and shot at 800, which is a lot higher than I normally go. I think the other one was 200, which is normally what I end up shooting. But like I said, this is just kind of walking around on the con floor, getting some good shots and stuff like that. I saw Aaron didn't have time to set up my light stand, so I just wanted to grab a quick shot of him. I really love the way this plays off his eyes. So this looks pretty decent as it is right now. We're just going to add a little bit of punch to it, and that's something you really got to kind of learn, you know, how much you want your style to, okay, how much are you going to edit? You know, is this going to be something that you're really going for that over the top, oh my lord, Kylo Ren, holy crap, this really nasty looking lightsaber effect? Or are you just going to go for kind of augmenting what's already there? So we'll go to a little bit of a wider glow for the initial on this one, and you see how that just pumped it up so much just as is. I think I'm just going to leave that the way that is. So, you know, you can see how it just like looks like it's just freaking burning hot here. That little bit of extra glow around it, it's not consistent, you know, like a faked or photoshopped lightsaber would just like have a solid line up there. It's kind of weaving in and out based on how it's interacting with the stuff that's in the background. It's really going to be great for clothing if they're holding the lightsaber in front of their face, for going off of the skin textures and the hair and stuff like that. Everything that it interacts with is just going to be fantastic. So I like the light in his eyes already. I'm going to leave that alone, and I'm going to call that done. You know, you see just a subtle difference between before over here and after. And, you know, it's just got a little bit more of a red cast to it instead of this yellow over here. Now, if you want to say, okay, well, dude, what if I want to change colors? Okay, then you can change colors. but you just kind of got to keep in mind, okay, how are these colors going to mix? You know, so if you want a blue one, you're not going to be able to go straight blue from straight red because of all the different colors. If you affect this right here, through the various ways that Lightroom can do, we're not going to get into that today, but if you want to affect this, it's going to affect everything that is casting a shadow on, or casting light on, which may not be what you're going for. So we'll cover that in another one, but you can't just pick a color and stack it on top of it because, you know, as you can see, red or orange plus blue is like this weird purple magenta type color. So just kind of got to keep that in mind. Stick with the basics for now. And I want to take a second to show you some of the other images I've done with this same technique. This first one is from C2E2 2 years ago with my buddy Ryan Green as Darth Maul. This was the one who kind of got all this started. I really love the way this shoot turned out, and as you can see, that saber has that really nasty edge to it. And next is a Kylo Ren that I was fortunate enough to shoot at KatsuCon this year, and part of it is the prop and part of it is the editing, but this particular look that they have along the edge of Kylo's saber here is very signature of his saber. And here's something a little bit different. We did the blaster effect where Kylo freezes the blaster in midair in the movie. And last but not least, I will show you guys how to change the color of your lightsaber and the hue of the light it casts on your person from one color to another one fairly easily using some built-in tools with Lightroom. If you like what you see, give this a thumbs up, subscribe to see all the shiny new things I post. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, and Facebook at The Portrait Dude. Until next time, keep being awesome. Peace. Dude out.